What's going on, guys? RDAP Dan here, Federal Prison Time Consulting, People Helping People, Communities Method. It's been a while since you've all seen my pretty face, but today I've got, actually, this is probably one of the most awesome interviews I've had the opportunity of doing since I've been released from prison, as I have this awesome gentleman in front of me, Javier Flores. How are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing pretty good today.
Okay. So for those that don't know, I met Javier in 2015. He was one of the first fucking faces I saw going into the federal halfway house in Spokane, Washington, back in 2015. And I don't think people know this little tidbit about this Javier, but you were the one that gave me the name RDAP Dan.
RDAP Dan, I remember that.
Do you remember that night?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. So we're going to talk about your story a little bit. You've done a total of about 16 years in the federal prison system, from mediums to lows to the camps. You never had the luxury of making it to the penitentiary. Thank God.
And I don't want to.
You don't want to. So unfortunately, you've had some hiccups along the way. I met you in the halfway house, and you just recently got back out of federal prison. How many months ago?
Got out last July.
Oh, last July. Oh, so a year.
Yep.
And due to the CARES Act, you got out early because of the CARES Act.
Yeah, CARES Act.
Okay. So tell people a little bit about, because how old are you now? I'm 44.
45.
Okay, so I remember we're the same age.
Yeah.
How did you, what was your life like growing up? How did you kind of get into trouble, and what ultimately ended up sending you to prison the first time?
Well, growing up was in the 80s. So as you know, things weren't so strict back then, so we would do whatever we wanted to do. And just hanging out with the wrong crowd, and they were making money, and I wanted in.
Money is always a big. It's a big thing that compels a lot of us to get in trouble. We don't necessarily want to go to prison, but what was your family like? Like, was mom and dad around?
Yeah, they were always around.
Did they know kind of some of the stuff you're getting into?
Yeah, when they figured it out.
By then it was too late.
No, well, I left home when I hit the streets.
And you've got a son now, right?
Yeah.
And you said he's like 15, 16 years old.
16 right now.
And he's seen you go through a lot of this stuff. Have you been able to use your experience from, making the mistakes, getting in trouble? Have you been able to use some of this as like a cautionary tale to show him what not to do?
Well, I do tell him repeatedly, constantly, but
has he made some of his own mistakes yet?
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
Hopefully
he never does. I don't mean to say not yet.
Not yet, but he's good. He's doing good.
Okay. Is he in school or anything?
School, play sports.
Okay. And you guys live and you're in Washington. What area?
Tri-Cities
area. Okay. So what did you originally get in trouble for, and how much time did you get behind your first hit? Like, what did you go away for?
It was my charge was 7 kilos of cocaine. This was a charge of 5,000 grams or more.
5,000 grams of cocaine. That's a lot of cocaine.
A lot of cocaine. And they gave us 10 years for that.
10-year minimum mandatory, right?
Mandatory.
Were you, so you didn't just have 5,000 grams of cocaine laying around. This is you were moving cocaine, you were buying it and selling it in bulk, or was it like kind of like,
I was selling those that night that I sold them the 7 keys of cocaine.
Did you know something was off? So when you got asked to go get 7 keys, was that a normal purchase order, or was it a little bit more than the normal ask?
Well, it was normal for him.
Okay. So
and we had been doing it for a while, so I didn't suspect nothing out of it.
So this was somebody you had been dealing with for a while.
Yeah.
Didn't know that he had evidently he got in trouble. He was wearing a wire, undercover, shit like that.
Exactly what he's doing.
Oh fuck! So did they hit you that same night that you did the sale, or did the sale?
Yeah, right after the sale.
Wow!
Right after the sale. Crazy part is that the wire that he used, we smoked the blunt while we're doing this, counting the money and stuff, and
right.
He the lighter that we were using was the wire.
Really?
Yeah.
And you had no idea? Fuck. Tony, you ever heard of anything like that?
I have not heard that.
I've never heard of a wire. So it was a wireless lighter?
It was a lighter that we were using.
Right. But it was wireless, obviously, because there was no wire sticking out of it.
Nothing.
And this was in what year?
This was in what year was this? 2006.
2006. So if they had that technology in 2006, imagine what they got now in
Uh-huh.
2000. Fuck, bro. It's people are getting roped up every day. Some guys that you and I met together while we were in the halfway house, Oso and Junior and a lot of these dudes, they were nice guys. We used to sit around and play poker in the halfway house. I know you're not supposed to play poker in the halfway house, but we had fun doing that.
Did.
And these guys got some Oso ended up getting hit and got how many years?
He got 30 years.
30 years. And he had done, I think I remember him doing, he did
He
like
did.
17 or something.
He had
right?
just got out doing 17.
17. Do you think when some of these guys get out, and even you can use yourself as an example too, when that's kind of like the only life that you know, you come to the halfway house and you look at the jobs that are available for somebody that's never really done real work before in the workforce, because life has been a life of like drug dealing, crime life like that. Is it hard to say, I'm going to go get a job working for minimum wage, knowing like the life you've always lived? How hard is it to cross that bridge?
It's very hard. Very hard. I'm going through something like that right now.
Okay.
You know, I've gotten interviews with companies, and the guy that interviews me says I'm putting you on, and once that background check comes, the human resources turns me down.
Does that happen a lot?
It happened twice already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what does that do to your mind? What does that do to your state of mind? Like, are you like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, sometimes you just like, man, fuck this. I'm just gonna do what I know how to do. But the consequence is too heavy this time. So
Because there's people. What happened if you? So the last time you got hit in Spokane, because I met you in the halfway house. You got out in 2000, out of the halfway house in 2015. And how long were you out before you got in trouble?
I was out for a year.
And what did you get in trouble for at that time?
For possession of 50 grams or more of methamphetamine.
And you got sentenced to how many years?
10 years.
10 years. And so that's the last time I saw you.
Yep.
We lived in the same neighborhood.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, boom, fucking Javier's fucking up the road again.
Up the road.
And a lot of people kind of expected that, right?
Yeah.
Now, knowing people expect that, does it make you not want to try harder because you feel like if you do good, people are waiting for you to fall on your face and you don't want to let down people that care about you? It's almost easier just to give them the shit they expect.
I feel like that's what's happening right now.
Okay.
But I can just, I can't take the easy way out this time.
So you just, we were talking briefly. I came downstairs to bring you up to the office, and we were talking. You had a job that you liked. You were doing deliveries for, was it Lowe's?
Yeah.
And Lowe's, you didn't get fired. It's not like you got fired because you fucked up. They let you go because Lowe's no longer does that in-house. They now outsource that, probably to save money or whatever, which ultimately puts you kind of out without a job now.
Yeah.
So now
I've been without a job for 2 weeks now.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you depend on these paychecks to, pay for your family.
Very much. I was depending on those paychecks.
Right. So now you're going through a little,
yeah.
Your mind's kind of going back to some old thinking.
Yep.
And how are you challenging that? How are you trying to stay out of it? Like, you got a 16-year-old kid that lives with you now. What happens to him if where's he go?
Well, the thing is that I don't think I don't think I could do the 20 years that they're going to offer me this time. So that's
what's keeping you.
Yeah, that's what's keeping me. I don't think I got it in me. Do another bit. I don't got it in me.
Bro, I don't know why I feel like I want to fucking cry talking to you right now, man. You're one of the first fucking people I met at the halfway house. And to be honest, I don't think you liked me when we first met. You kind of looked at me like I was like, uppity, kind of a dick, until we got to know each other a little bit and start cutting it up on the poker table. But
no, because you said you were like, I'm from Miami. So what are you doing at the halfway house in Spokane? That's what I was thinking.
That could mean a lot of things.
Yeah,
right.
Like,
you didn't know my girl moved up here and all that.
I didn't know all that. So I was like, so this dude, he ain't never been over here.
Right.
Nobody over here. He from Miami. And I don't know.
Who's he telling on?
I mean, what?
Right.
Is he on witness protection or I mean, I don't know. It's just.
No, and I've never been through shit like this, so I don't even know people think like that, So hearing that now makes sense. But we ended up getting along pretty good towards the end. You're actually one of the only dudes that I stayed in touch with.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see, you know, I can't say I know how hard it is because I got lucky with the YouTube stuff and kind of like getting something off the jump to make things work out for me. But I can see the struggle behind your eyes on you don't want to go back to prison, but at the same fucking time, you got to find a way to make yourself eat.
That's exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
So
So
I mean, you know, it's just there's no money. Well, I can just go grab this, take it over there.
right.
But
And doing that once leads into 2, leads into 3 times. Before you know it, boom.
the thing is that they know me already. So if I go walk into a place that's already being watched, being hot, and they see me go in there, I'm on the radar instantly.
Right.
They're coming for me. They're gonna put everything they got to come get me, and I can't put myself in that position no more. That's the thing.
And you know that now.
I know that. I know that. They're gonna put me away.
So what kind of work are you looking for?
I like driving, man. I'm thinking of go and get my CDL.
Okay.
You know,
So you've got a clean driver's license. You
Clean
got all that
I
stuff.
got all that.
Okay.
I was driving a box truck. That's what I was doing. For
And you needed a special license for that, right?
no, that wasn't. You don't need it.
So box truck, that's like kind of like when you get a U-Haul truck type of a thing.
It's
Right?
it's a 24-footer.
Okay.
But it's a single axle. So
Once you go beyond that, you need the
yeah,
CDL.
yeah.
So what do you got to do to get the CDL?
I got to go through school. That's the only way you get a CDL.
And is there a place around you where you live that can
Yeah,
you do
there
that?
is. But it's like
Cost money,
$4,000 to do it.
and you have to pay it all at once, or it can
Nope.
be done.
You have to pay before you start because they can't secure your spot if you don't pay for it.
Hey, anybody out there watching right now, if there's ever a guy that any of y'all wanted to help and reach out to, I know a lot of times some of our viewers are like, hey man, do you know anybody that's going through something, needs some help? He's not here asking for handouts. So if anybody is interested in helping somebody that's trying to do the right thing, reach out to me and I'll put you in contact with Javier, because this is, you know, I've watched this guy go through the system a couple times now since I've been out, and it's easy for people that have never been in trouble to say, oh, just do the right thing. Just do the right thing. And you really are trying. I see it. I don't think you would be here today if you were the old way of thinking, if you were doing the shit you were doing before. I don't think you'd sit here and do an interview kind of talking about the stuff that you've done. So the fact that you're here, sitting here right now, I know this isn't easy for you.
No, it's not easy. But there's no way to like let it out too.
Yeah.
You know?
How's it feel? Does it feel different?
Yeah, it feels it's
Like a burden?
No.
I try to tell people that. I'm
Like-
like, it's so therapeutic kind of getting the shit off your chest, and people don't understand it until until they're sitting in your seat.
like just to start a new life at an age of 45. It's not easy.
No?
Not easy at all.
What would you tell the 21-year-old Javier Flores? What's some advice that you have for that guy?
For a 21-year-old me, probably got to find a better plug.
I mean, it doesn't get much more honest than that, brother. Find a better
I
plug.
need a better plug.
Does this lifestyle ever end in a different way than prison or the ground?
Don't.
Do you know anybody that's been a successful drug dealer that's never gotten fucking roped in unless they're telling on everybody?
Nope. I mean, some guys made it better than others, and they're still good. But
so here's a question I have. I've always wondered this. So let's say when you're at, because I remember when you started kind of getting back into it a little bit, I could kind of see the differences. You know, you started showing up with like some nicer vehicles and shit like that. Did it go through your mind when you were doing that? Did you know, like, you're going back to old ways, that it's going to end bad and you're just going to ride the enjoyment while it runs? Or did you really convince yourself that you were going to do shit different and better as a drug dealer?
Well, at that times you have to pick and choose who, because the only person that can put you behind prison is a person you're putting that weight in their hands. So you have to, whoever that person is, you have to really, know a lot about him or have real good past or history with him,
Right.
For you to do that.
But isn't that usually the person that ends up turning on you?
But I mean, it's the chances that you take.
Right. So the day that you got hit, did you know it was coming? Were you surprised?
Well, I wasn't surprised because they have been following my footsteps for the past 2 years, real close. They just couldn't get to me. And but soon it'll happen. It'll happen.
It's just a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time. And if they know you keep pushing that weight, they're gonna keep the radar on you. They're coming.
When they showed up at your house that day, kicked in the doors and took you away, when they put those handcuffs back on you for the first time, what was going through your mind?
I want to know. My mind was like, who got me and with how much, with what? That way I know
What kind of time?
I'm looking at. Because I knew they were coming. So the house has been cleaned out. I knew they were coming.
Right.
It was too much. It was too much. There was too much happening. So somewhere when it's too nice like that, something's gonna stop it. Something's gonna get in the way.
Sure fucking got in the way, huh?
Got in the way. So I knew they were coming. And then I had stopped and cleaned everything out. But if you already have a control buy on you, there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
And I already had one.
Mm-hmm. So it was already in motion.
It was already in motion. But I wanted to know how much, because it could have been a couple of pounds, could have been a half a pound, it could have been.
How much was it this time?
This time was a quarter pound.
Quarter pound.
But it's 50 grams.
50 grams
or more is what the charge is.
And you had already the priors, so your criminal history category was what, a 3 or a 4 at this point, I imagine.
It was in the middle.
It was in the middle.
Yeah.
But you had a minimum mandatory, right?
A minimum mandatory.
120 months?
No, it was the charge was for 5 years.
Okay.
But for my criminal history, the 851, everything doubles your time. So that's where the 10 years came in. So.
And when you found that out, what went through your mind? Because you were 30, you were 35 then.
I was like, man, I'm going to do it again.
Fuck.
But now 45 don't feel like we could do it again.
No, 10 more years, you're fucking almost 60, bro.
It don't feel like we could do it again.
No. So you just gonna push through this time and figure out what you got to do?
Yeah, I have to. I mean, it's summertime. There's gonna be a lot of work happening. So somewhere
you're looking towards the brightness of it.
Yeah.
Well, if there's anything that we can do, man, I've seen you down and out on your luck before. I'm gonna tell you something. You don't know this. All these dudes, Junior, all these guys, they've all sent me messages, like through their fucking cell phones in prison and shit, asking me for money. Hey, Wise, how have you been? Within 2 seconds, can I get some money? Can I get some money? Can I get some money? Like, like begging. You never once asked for anything ever. Even coming up here, you didn't ask for nothing. So to me, it's not offering help out of pity, just so you know. I'm not sitting there going, oh, poor you. Not at all. So wanting to help somebody that is actually trying to help themselves, because you know how easy it is to fuck up and go back to that same life. And it's that demon's right there sitting on your fucking shoulder, begging you to go pick up some drugs and make a quick buck. But if you do, it's the next 20 years of your life is fucking probably gone.
Because right now I live like I don't worry about it. Like,
explain what you mean by that.
When I go in the house, I don't lock the doors. First thing I do. Sometimes I don't even lock it, period. Not seeing if who's coming or who's watching or nothing. I live comfortable. No worries. No, I mean, the only thing that worries is, of course, bills and rent and all that, but different type of worries.
Different type of worries.
Like, that there ain't nobody coming to get you. No, nothing. You ain't got nothing. You clean. once you do like you say that quick money, I could go do it one time. But now in my mind, I already did a sell.
Why stop?
No, I already did a sell. So in my mind, I'm not clean no more because I already did something.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't mean because you did it and they didn't bust you right there, that don't mean they're not gonna come 2-3 months later with the indictment. It could have been a controlled buy, but feds drag that shit out up to 4 years with the indictment.
They want to watch you grow it and get more and more to stack it on.
Or they just got busy. They already got you. They're coming to arrest you. You're hit already.
Right.
So they got other shit going on. So sometimes they drag it out. And because no matter what, they did that control buy on you, whether they arrest you today or 6 months later, it don't matter. They're gonna arrest you.
So once you cross that line, mentally there's no coming back from it once you cross it.
Well, I mean, they could be, but you're not gonna be, like I say, that delivery that you did, that dirt that you, whatever you went to go do,
right,
it's still there, and it's gonna
keeps you awake at night.
Yeah, it's gonna keep you awake at night,
and that's got to be a really bad, horrible feeling. It's got to like eat at you. And right now, you're not dealing with that.
I'm not dealing with that. That's what I'm saying.
You and your son, you're not worried about somebody showing up, the cops showing up, someone knocking on your door looking for something.
Yeah.
Because you said your doors where we lived out of the halfway house before the cops kicked in your doors, somebody else kicked in your doors.
Well,
and that could have been somebody who's looking to rob you or whatever, right?
Exactly what they were doing, because they seen that the place was shut down, phones weren't being answered, so they figured it was just
right
abandoned for a little bit, and so they went in to go see what they could come up on.
Did they get it? Was there anything when they came in?
There was no drugs, nothing, but there was money, electronics, electronics and stuff like that.
And then that causes a whole new set of problems. Forget about like the legal side of it. Now where you live, they want you to move out because shit like that happens, and it's probably hard. It doesn't seem like you can live a pro-social life and have one foot in that world at the same time, because the crossover is that. And now you're trying your hardest to fight that off and stay in this lane that you're in, which you can see where you're at in your eyes right now. Like something needs to happen here in the next, because you need to make money. You got to survive. You got bills. There's nobody paying your bills for you.
Nobody paying the bills. So.
You got rent, gas, shit like that,
all that.
So again, guys, I'm not anybody, like we always get people that reach out and say, is there anybody that needs that? It could use like somebody, like it's great to help somebody when they're deserving of the help, when they're going to do the right thing or help somebody else when they need it. It's when nobody wants to give money out these days, because it's like, oh, I'm going to give money, he's going to go out and fucking blow it up his nose or whatever. You're trying to do the right thing here, and something that when somebody's in that situation, in my opinion, you're the type of person that if somebody wants to give somebody a fucking helping hand, that deserves it, that ain't begging for it, that's the guy sitting across the table from me right now. So guys, reach out if you can. I'm more than happy to put you in contact with them or pass it along if you want to stay anonymous. But what's the lifestyle like for you now? Like, what do you, if you're not out there fucking around with those type of people, what are you doing right now for, like, what do you do for fun now? Do you hang out with your kid? Do you have friends that you hang out with, or are you still kind of figuring it out?
I hang out with my sons and my nephews, and mostly family.
You said you had a big old barbecue yesterday, right? It
was my nephew's birthday.
Okay.
They were out there playing volleyball, barbecuing, and buddy having a good time. No drugs, nothing, man. Just clean, nice, everything very nice.
How did that feel?
It feels good. It feels it's just, usually when I show up to an event like that, a family event, whatever, I'm there for an hour, 30 minutes, an hour. Phone just keeps going off and off and off and off, and I gotta go.
Like the life.
Yeah, I gotta go. Came by, just because it's the family, so you have to no matter what, show up. But show up drunk, high, need to move because I got things to go do. And
what about now when you show up to these events? Are people coming up to you going, man, you look good?
Yeah. it's
Is it weird?
yeah, it's weird. Different conversations, different everything.
What goes through your mind? Do you let me ask you this, do you know how to act in these regular situations, or does it feel fucking out of body?
It's I don't think I'm the only one that sees it at this, but it's to me it's different because I see the way my family is. They share a lot of love, and I don't got that same love like that.
Why do you think that is?
Because for feelings, and I mean, I lost feelings like that a long time ago. Well,
Do you want this?
because you're among, you're in at a FCI amongst men, and you let go of a lot of that shit.
Yeah.
Or else it's gonna kill you. It's gonna. I mean, because for so many years, you don't get nothing in prison. You don't get no. If anything,
A little
solid
bro man hug.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You don't get no.
Your father's not coming up and putting his hands on your face and kissing your forehead.
You don't
like
get
that.
nothing. You don't get none of that. You just.
Do you want that? Do you want to feel that? Do you want to get back to that?
Well, I feel like that's the way I'm supposed to be because that's how all my family is. So, but
we're hugging before you leave, motherfucker.
but I don't have it like that. I don't have it.
But can you have it? Let me say this. You might not even know if you can or not. Are you willing to try to give yourself time? Maybe the more time you spend with your family and the more time that your family sees the new you, it's going to take them time too. They're used to you fucking up all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when they see you there and they see you clean and sober, there's probably some shit's going through their mind. How long is this going to last? When's he going to make a mistake? And you can't fault them for thinking that because it's kind of been the track record. But if you go through enough time, a year, 2 years, 3 years, all of a sudden, that's all they're going to know now is this new dude that changed, not even just changed his life, opened himself up to being vulnerable to no longer being in prison mentality.
I don't know if that could. I mean, it might change, but it won't ever go away.
Right.
Yeah. and my family because whenever I've never lied to them. I don't lie to my family if they want to know something or something's going on and they want me to tell them what's really going on, or I always tell them what it is.
Right.
I don't lie to them about what's going on. If it's that way, if they don't want me to come around, that's cool. But I'm not gonna tell you lies so
right.
I could be.
But there's probably a level of respect there.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
They know you're not going to bring shit around them because you're going to tell them, hey, I'm doing shit, so I'm not going to come around. Yes?
Yeah, it's like before, they come over to the house to visit, whatever, and I'll be like, look, straight up, I got a house full of dope. You guys want to hang out? I'm just letting you know I got a house full of dope.
You're letting them make their own decision.
Yeah, because I don't need to them get caught up in my bullshit.
Right.
When I could have just told them what was going down, and it's up to them if they want to continue or they want to just say hi really quick and then go.
I won't say any names, but after I got out, I went back to Florida. I was still on supervised release, and I went back to Spokane. I had one of my clients was getting sentenced, and I ran into somebody that we knew from the halfway house, and he invited me over. And I went over to his house and he fucking puts a gun on the table. And in my mind, I'm still on supervised release. I can't be around like guns and shit like that. If something were to happen in that moment, doors were to get kicked in and why am I there? That's a whole lot of shit to fucking explain.
That's where I'm trying to.
Yep. I get it. Because it's a different lifestyle and not everybody wants to be a part of that lifestyle. So now, did you ever get in trouble for guns?
No,
never guns, just drugs.
No.
So no violent.
No, I.
Because you never. That's probably why. I apologize, guys. I'm getting over pneumonia here. That's probably why you never ended up at like a penitentiary or anything. You did RDAP.
I did RDAP.
What year?
Did RDAP in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it weird in the halfway house when I started doing the prison consulting stuff and helping people go into the like what were some of the when people were like, man, Dan's doing what the fuck's Dan doing? Was that weird for guys to wrap their mind around?
When I started to get to know you, I was like, man, this dude right here, straight con artist. Straight con artist right here. This dude, he's on a different level. He knows he's on the same game, just over here. Over here,
Right.
different. But there's a lot of people that make money with that.
Right.
That they do. I don't know what they do. I meet them at the camp. People just hacking into Bank of America and moving money. Like, how the hell you do that shit?
See, the thing is because you kind of always been in and out of a little bit of trouble here and there. You gotta remember, a lot of guys when they get in trouble, like people that are watching this right now, it's not so much like I'm going to help you serve a better sentence. It's more of like the mental side of it. You've got people that are getting ready to go to prison, and most of them are going to go to a camp, 3 to 5 years tops. They're imagining it being like rapes, beatings, torture, extortion. So a lot of what I do is helping them mentally prepare for like what they tell their kids, how they get themselves right for the judge for sentencing, how to take accountability. And it's hard for people that have been in and out of the system to understand that, because you would say, well, what the fuck do I need to hire a prison consultant for? I know exactly what to expect. But put yourself in the mind of like, a young guy or an older guy that's never been in trouble. Like, what do you think they think prison's going to be like? Because you've been to some of the tougher places. Everybody thinks the feds is a soft, cushy place. And that's only if you're at a camp or a low. What's it like at a medium? What kind of stuff did you see in a medium facility prison?
The thing in the medium is that there's different cars. Every car is out there, and every car.
What's a car for people that don't know?
It's a group. For me, I'm a Hispanic, so I can't just walk in the prison and say, "Oh, I run by myself." They're not going to allow that. Not at a medium yard.
Right.
You either jump on the Paisas, which is it's a neutral. They're not gang members. In prison, is the biggest gang. Right? And the federal prison is considered the biggest gang.
Paisas.
Okay. So, but it's you're not a gang member from the street. You're not. That's just because we're
it's not like a Norteño or sureño.
No, they're gang. They've been gang banging in the streets.
Right.
So they got rivals. And we're just a Hispanic neutral culture that we represent in there. And yeah, when if you fuck up, they're gonna take care of you. Depends on what you did, but you have to put yourself in that position. Nobody's gonna come unless you're one of those guys that say, I don't run with nobody. I run by myself. Or when you go to go eat, every table belongs to a car. So where are you gonna sit down?
Right.
It doesn't mean that now you're a gang member or now you're but you just they're the group that you run with, and they have rules and you follow the rules, and you won't have a problem at all.
So let's say as a Paisa, just kind of a non-affiliated, but you're affiliated to that community, a fight breaks out. Do you have to get involved?
Well,
Can you sit back and go, I'm going to go eat my food?
In the medium yard, you can't just, if there's a fight, it's because they already gave the green light.
Okay.
So it's already, you can't just
fight. You can't just pop off.
You can't just pop off. Because now you're gonna get hit because
your own crew is gonna come down on you.
Your own crew's coming on you
because you put them in a fucking situation.
At that moment, something happens, jumps off, boom, you come grab another Paisa or call the rep, and the other guy is pretty much the one that's going to take the hit because they have their rules too. And the rules is we don't just pop off. We're not just going to fuck up the program and get the yard locked down because two knuckleheads couldn't get along. So you have to put in your possession. If you do drugs, you gamble, and you can't pay your bills, shit, you're going to have problems.
with your own,
and
with the other, obviously,
with the other.
because they want
but they're not-
redemption.
They give you the thing in the medium, when you give you an option, they tell you, okay, he's a paisa. So the paisas, they'd be like, look, don't worry about it. We take care of him. So whatever you did, it could be just be anything. But the bigger the problem is, the bigger your situation is gonna be. If you really fucked up and you have to leave the yard, they might be nice to you and say, you know what, get your shit and get the fuck off the yard, or they'll come fucking smash you, and then
you get taken off.
Then they get taken off the yard.
What's one of the worst things you've seen happen in front of you that was like fuck? Like, you know, you've seen a lot of stuff, but what's something that stands out?
And in Sheridan, the Norteños, they used to be allowed to walk in the yard together with the sureños. And
now these are the sureños and norteños, for people that are wondering. These are two major rival gangs.
Major rival gangs. So they got, like, the sureños, they got the M, the carnales, which is, they're all in penitentiaries and USPs. They can't, but they call the shots even from up there.
Mm-hmm.
They control their whole BOP. They set the rules. Same thing with the norteños. They have they're Nuestra Familia. So one Nuestra Familia gets to the yard, and he's there for like 3 months, and the whole time he's plotting an attack against the sureño. So the right jumps off. The sureños, nobody expected nothing. These guys, they just came after them. And man, some guys got stick really bad, stabbed over and over, and there was the cops. They seen that shit. They locked the doors and ran the other way.
They wait for it to all fizzle down.
Yeah, because there's a bus. They call them Ninja Turtles. But they come suited and booted. There's no way, nothing you could do. You could hurt them because they're armored up. The whole. Right. So they come in with the sandbags and start shooting, and then they just zip tie everybody, whether you're involved or not involved. But I seen some shit go down right because we were playing cards. One of them that was playing cards, they came and got him really good.
Came and got him, like how? What they do?
They came and stabbed him. Then he was walking by and just took off and started stabbing him.
Stabbing him. They kill him?
I don't know. They went to the hospital and never came back.
And you watched this happen.
I watched this.
And we're not. These are prison made shanks.
The prison made shanks,
but they're legit. What are they made out of?
They're made out of they make them in facilities.
So metal, plastic,
yeah, metal. They got plastic ones. They got metal ones.
I've heard rumors where they take these shanks and they'll dip them in like shit and feces and stuff to cause extra infection once it goes inside. Is that, you ever hear that?
I haven't heard that because they got some. They don't need that. They got some.
They're legit.
They got some big ones.
Like we're talking like this big. We're like.
Well, they got, facilities. You got welders, torches. You got all the machine to make whatever you want.
And where do people hide these things at?
They bury them
outside
in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
So if something jumps off, you know where yours is buried. Some people carry them all day. Some people make plastic ones so they don't go off in the metal detector.
I was just gonna say, do the COs walk out there with metal detectors?
They make a plastic one.
Do you ever have guys walking around? I've never been in a higher security, so I don't know if this shit is real or if it's just TV, but we'll have magazines strapped around them to create almost like protection if somebody were to, try to stick you up.
I haven't seen that.
You've heard of it though, right?
I heard, but I haven't seen that.
But this is in a federal prison. So when people think federal prisons are Camp Cupcake, that's only if you're going to a camp or a low. This is at a medium. This was not even at a penitentiary. So this is going out at a medium. Were you ever involved in any of this stuff? Did you ever get stabbed or no?
I mean, we're always involved because the group, but I've never been the one that they're focused on.
Right. Thank God.
I've never been, I don't put myself in that position.
And you even conducted yourself like that in the halfway house. I saw some, I don't want to say the names again, but in the halfway house where we were, there was Norteños and sureños in there. Yeah. And they had to go in the bathroom, go blow for blow one day, and then they squashed it after that. It was like, that fucking beef. And people just have to, for me, it was so weird. It's like 1 minute we're all playing cards, next minute they're in the bathroom beating each other up, and the next minute one guy's all lumped up and we're back playing cards again. It's just, the shit moves so fast.
And then at the halfway house, this is the crazy thing. The halfway house, they wouldn't get along. They didn't like each other.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when they come to my place, they had to like each other. It'd be crazy.
They got along at your place,
But they have to.
and they were both good dudes.
Both good dudes, and they both wanted what I had. So
Yeah.
they both got to shut the fuck up.
That's fucking crazy.
Or wait.
I remember a dude in there when again, he probably thought the same thing you thought because I was from the fucking East Coast. Here I am, Mr. fucking white guy in the fucking over here at the halfway house. It took a while, and really the only people I hung out with were the group of Spanish bro. I didn't hang out with a lot of the white dudes in there. A lot of the white I don't know. It just seems like a lot of the white guys I met in prison were on a much different kind of a mentality. It was more of like the skinheady type.
Yeah, that's in prison. That's how it is. And the white car, it's the bikers, the skinhead. Them they the ones that set the rules. There's a large group of white guys that they run independent, but they allow it. Their car, the whites, they allow it, so there's no problem. So whatever beef they get into, they're on their own.
Are there any affiliates that you guys would get along? I mean, not you because you were not affiliated, but like the GDs, excuse me, the GDs, the Gangster Disciples for the black guys.
Yeah.
Do any of those groups get along with each other in any moments, or is it always like straight up beef war?
Well, they have to. All of them. Everybody in the yard has to get along.
Okay.
If one car don't get along with the other car, then one of them's getting replaced. Simple as that. They're not gonna have that.
So there is a level of order and respect that is. And how hard is it to go back to the free world way of thinking? Because now you're out here where you're not a part of any car. You're part of the fucking pay your bills car. Is that hard mentality? Is it still kind of like, fuck, is it hard to move past?
It is. Like the other day I showed up 40 minutes, an hour late to work. And the boss, he didn't have to know that. You know, because we just get the truck, go to the dock, and load up.
Right.
He don't have to know that. But my coworker told his wife because she's the one that he's working, so she does almost all the
right
computers, whatever has to be sent. So he told her that, and in my mind, I'm like, man, this fool just told on me. So I'm thinking, I'm already tripping. Like, let that shit go, man. Who cares? You already talked to her. You told her you don't overslept. You're good.
And you were fucking late.
I was late.
Right.
But in my mind, I'm like, man, this fool just fucking told on me. What's wrong with this guy? And I'm thinking, man, I didn't even talk to him. And then I let that shit go and went back to normal.
Let it slide off.
I mean, but I can't be thinking that shit. This is work, man.
But that's how the real world is. People say dumb shit all the time because they don't have the kind of consequences. Like you wouldn't do that, obviously, in prison. People do though. That's why we get in trouble.
But these little things like that
it's hard.
That you just, yeah.
Like if they had a company picnic, and they're like, "Hey, Javier, we're having a company picnic Saturday. You want to come? You gonna go?"
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Do people know? Do people you work with? Do they know about your past?
Some of them do.
Is this something you talk about, or do you like not bring it up?
Well, I don't bring it up, but
okay.
Like we're in a truck,
right?
Driving all day together. I mean, sooner or later.
Yeah. So what do you do? Where have you been?
Sooner or later, you start opening up more to what.
Do you normally find when you start telling people about your past that they've either experienced something similar or they know somebody that's been through something? Does that come up a lot? Or is it mostly like, wow, I've never met anybody like that before?
Well, when I meet somebody new, and like I said, we were in the truck. So, when your phone rings and you have a conversation or the way you do things, the way you act, the way you dress, the way you're moving, like a lot of that explains a little bit about yourself. And you could tell right away, oh, this dude, he's comes from a white picket fence, or he comes from the streets. He's
right.
street knowledge too. And that's how I kind of get a feeling of
Who you're talking to.
yeah.
Do you feel most people are pretty understanding with your situation, or it doesn't like they really don't give a shit once they get to know you? It doesn't matter.
Nah, I don't. It don't matter
Right.
to them because they almost everybody drinks.
Right.
So everybody, like they drink, they smoke weed because it's legal, and they do other stuff because now people getting possessions with a couple grams of methamphetamine is just a citation now. A couple grams of coke, they're misdemeanor charges now. So they're not.
You see it more often.
They're not more. Like it's a big crime now. It's not.
Right.
That's not big of a crime no more.
Oh my God, he smokes weed. The devil. Like nothing like that, huh?
And we deliver into houses, so 1 out of every 5 houses you go to, the customer's house smells like weed. So it's not like a lot of people smoke weed, and it's Washington. It's recreational.
It is. How hard is it getting out of prison? Because in the feds, even though weed's legal, when you're on federal probation, you're still not allowed to smoke because it's federally.
It's federally.
How hard is that for a lot of guys that get out that are like, fuck, everyone? It's like you can go to the damn Walmart basically and buy marijuana now, but I'm still not allowed to smoke. Is that something that you feel that is? I remember when I got off of probation because I lived in Washington. I was blown away that I could just walk into a store and just buy marijuana legally. Do a lot of guys want to start using marijuana when they get home because it's everywhere?
Boy, every teenage boy fucking smokes marijuana, so you see it a lot.
A lot, yeah.
Everybody's either vaping, some type of vape, something.
You can't even tell these days what's what. Yeah,
what's what.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
it's so strong now too. It's like these dabs and stuff people do. It's like I used to say, smoking weed's no big deal. You smoke weed, you still drive your car. You do a couple dabs, and you try to get behind them.
Especially if your tolerance is really low.
If you're just coming home, yeah. What are some of the biggest drugs you would see inside the prison system?
Right now, they got this thing called K2.
Spice.
That's very big. That and there was what do they call Suboxone? Suboxone is like orange strips. Those two things are very popular
in prison.
Yeah.
How do they get them in there?
Either mail, visit.
Are COs still bringing shit in?
I'm pretty sure some COs are. That's just not going to stop.
I remember there was a native dude when we were in the halfway house. He was doing Spice or K2 or something in the bathroom. And all of a sudden he went fucking crazy and he's in the bathroom screaming. Yeah. Everybody's trying to calm him down because like Howard's going to come. Remember Howard?
The Hook?
You fucking asshole. Yes, the Hook. Is he still there?
I don't know.
Man, nobody liked him.
Well, they got 2 halfway houses now.
Yeah, I remember they opened up
downtown
right before. Didn't they transfer you there? No.
I have been there when it used to be.
That's the co-ed one, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember Michael Materney? He was one of the coolest white dudes ever. He was in the halfway house with us. He just died about a year ago. He got his baby mama fucking pulled up and shot him and gunned him down. Sad. A lot of people disappeared from there. Remember Gary?
I remember Gary.
Painter? The white, not black Gary, white Gary. He died, got electrocuted, painting. He was up on a boom and he touched the wire. Bzz, that was it. About not even 6-7 months ago. So seeing people, a lot of people went back. A lot of people died. A lot of people are out on the street now doing drugs and stuff. But look, I know shit's rough right now. But look, you're out, you're free, and you're looking for work, but you haven't gone back to the old ways yet. So, dude,
usually it takes me about 2 months to get back going.
Do you believe in higher powers? Or you
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So, you got to put a little faith out there and there's not a whole lot I can do in general for you, but I'll tell you if you're about to make that decision, you can always call me and I'll tell you, this is not going to end well for you. If you need something, that's that little bit of a voice. I got your back. And we got a good group of followers on here. Some people that really care, want to help. So we don't know. This video might do something for you.
Well, I got one of those voices that doesn't leave me alone. Tells me constant.
Good. Keep them on there. Pull them on full blast, brother. Last thing, what do you want to leave people with right now? Like, what's somebody right now that's on the fence? They're like, fuck, I'm about to go break the law. I'm gonna go pick up this package. I'm gonna go deliver this package. I thought of everything. I'm not gonna get caught. What do you say to them?
Well, the right thing to say to them is just don't do it. But to somebody who's young, it's hard to tell them that. Especially, they take it as they think you think he's just young and a kid, and you want to tell him what to do. They don't like that. 21 years older, ain't nobody gonna tell them what to do.
That's a good point.
Ain't nobody gonna tell them what to do, and they've been getting that money, taking it over there, so they're gonna keep taking it no matter what you say. Because I don't care what you told me. Man, my dude's got a bag full of cash for me waiting for me. What's wrong with you?
Bro, I will never forget the day you came to my little office downtown Spokane. You're like, hey, Wise, come out here. Want to see something? You popped your trunk and you had, I don't know what was in there. It was
that shit was popping them right there. Man.
Yeah.
That shit was going.
I remember looking at that going, oh my God, what I would do for that right now. And but that little voice in my head, man, it's like, and then ultimately sent you back for another 10.
That's what it did.
What was it worth it?
No, it wasn't worth it.
So the 21-year-old right now, if he said to you, this 50 racks I'm going to go pick up, how long is that life going to last? And is it ever going to be worth it? What's it cost you in the end?
It cost me my whole life, my adult life in federal prison.
Because I don't know many drug dealers.
Yeah, you have a good time.
How much did you invest in the stock market?
Nothing.
How much do you got sitting waiting for you when you came home?
Nothing. That's the thing. A couple cars,
Family?
Nothing that was worth it.
How much family was
now?
Was
if I could go through 10 years and come out a millionaire,
different story.
Different story.
Okay.
Or you made a couple million for those 10 years you doing.
But how many times does that happen to people? It happens in the movies all the time. But in reality, in the street.
From the 2000s, it ain't happened to nobody from the 2000s and on. Because back in the 90s and 80s, there was a lot of them. Right.
Less competition, less people, right?
Well, just wide open, man. They weren't hard.
Cameras weren't everywhere.
They just weren't.
Undercover fucking lighters.
People weren't telling like they are now. Now, I don't care who you are, cousin, nephew, brother-in-law, brother.
Son, daughter. Everyone tells, huh?
Yeah, just, man.
But yet somehow in prison, nobody told. Everybody I met, they said they never told on nobody.
That's what they say.
So in mediums and penitentiaries, you got to show your paperwork, right?
Yeah. When
you got to the medium yard, did you have to show your PSR?
You don't have to, like, because when you say, for example, go to Sheridan, right?
Medium.
Yeah. You get there, there's already a group of people that know you from the street. Somebody knows you. Somebody somewhere knows you, no matter what. That's how I look at it right now.
Right.
In the system. Somebody, whatever you were into that was making this money move, and they came down on you and got you, you ain't the only one. You weren't doing it by yourself.
Right.
There's
an indictment, conspiracy, something.
And then you had partners and you had friends, and so somebody knows something. So that's where so when you get to the prison, this guy, or you're from Tri-Cities, yeah, all right, boom boom. I'm from Tri-Cities too, boom boom boom. So you kind of like, he's from your hometown, he's same car, so you don't have to go around showing your paper. You just show him, and
he vouches. So
when he's seen he so as long as somebody already seen your thing, you're good, because there's already seen. It's not just you saying that you're good.
What happens? So you're in Sheridan. For people that don't know, it's in Oregon. So what happens? You're sitting in Sheridan. Dude walks to the yard. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Florida.
There's gonna be somebody there from Florida.
But you want to see that, right? Because like, why are they transferring you from damn near across the country?
Well, now is
normal.
Normal.
It is normal. Okay.
Normal.
Because we used to see a lot of DC guys. I went to Florida. We see a lot of DC guys who are like dropouts that would end up in Florida.
Yeah. Now the DC's they're everywhere. So they move you around. They have this rule where they're supposed to keep you in 500
miles.
Yeah,
supposed to.
But I mean, if you get sent to a low, they ain't no low nowhere near 500 miles from here.
Here? Yeah, I guess you're right.
There's no low. The lowest, the closest one is what, Furlong?
Furlong, probably.
Lompoc?
Lompoc. Yeah.
All California.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't do any time in Washington.
So there's no lows in this area. The only thing is that medium in Sheridan. And you got that detention center in Seattle, SeaTac.
Some people get sentenced that have short sentences, like a year, 18 months.
They go there.
They end up doing their whole time there.
Yeah,
and that's kind of like a county jail experience, right?
But they have a unit where you work. So,
right. But you're not seeing like the out. It's like Sheridan. You got the.
You're out every day.
Yeah. Well, Javier, man, I know you're going through some shit right now, and you got that demon knocking on your door. But bro, you're here for a reason. You didn't just drive out here for nothing, you know. So let's hope I'm not on here in 60, 90, 120 days going, guys, remember Javier? Well, here's his fucking BOP number. If you want to send him some commissary, here's where he's at. I don't want to do that.
No,
video.
we're not gonna do that.
I don't want to do that video.
We ain't doing that video. We ain't doing that video, man.
All right, homie.
No.
Guys, RDAP Dan, federal prison time, people helping people, communities method. If you want to help out my homie right here, he's not asking for it. I'm asking for it. Anything you guys donate, it will gladly be appreciated. And I know he'll pay it forward when he can. I'm out of here. Peace, everybody. Stay safe.
Peace. This was crazy.